Tor. Hello, Rob. So your pitch was about the next 10 years, the next decade. What should we look after?
Well, there's yes, yeah. So our pitch is about the transition between the 2010s into the 2020s, and how the 2020s are often a decade of transformation and change. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity for brands in the 2020s. One of the key things that we were talking about was the rise of experience, and particularly digital experiences. We see a big opportunity for brands to move from interruptive marketing to creating value for consumers through the creation of better digital experiences.
So you're helping huge, big companies, right? That they fail to adapt to the times are now, or are too afraid for this changes.
It's a great question. I think it's often not to do with fear. It's often to do with the structure of the companies themselves. So often these big companies kind of become almost too big to change quickly. And that's one of the things we help clients with, is to help them accelerate change. And we come in and work often between siloed parts of the organization. So one of the things we've seen a lot of is marketing's working separately from technology teams. And of course, in the world of digital, it's very important that those two teams work together. So we'll come in and help them come together to align around a common vision, a common roadmap, and then help them to build out that roadmap over the next 3 years.
Isn't it simpler for them just to buy the startups that are coming now?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of companies are investing in new technologies, and indeed there's a lot of M&A activity. So I was talking today about in the US market, we've seen Serta Simmons, a huge mattress manufacturer, buy Tufton Needle, which is a direct-to-consumer brand there. So that's certainly happening. But I think what there's also a need for is that internal change as well. So it's not just about adding things on, but there's the need for that kind of culture change internally, and making and creating that kind of vision for where the organization needs to go.
Why are they so bad to adapt? They're too big to fail, or they just go to sleep with this thought?
I think there's big companies are filled with very, very smart people. So it's not a talent issue per se. I think it's often the structures, as I say, they just get too big. I think often for very large organizations, the job of the marketer involves a lot of risk management, as well as breaking through. When you're managing a multi-billion-dollar company, you have a duty to shareholders to maintain that value as well as grow it. So I think there's certainly the risk side of things. But I think in the world of particularly now direct-to-consumer models, where you've seen players like Dollar Shave Club come into the men's razor category and completely disrupt it, in a very, very short period. So we're going to see more and more of that in the 2020s. So brands will have to adapt and move more quickly.
And you're like a medicine for anti-disruptive tech, huh?
Something like that. Yeah, we try and get into the organization, help them change from the inside. And there's challenges to that, of course. But I think where what we have seen in the US and other markets is a real appetite for change, and looking to work with partners such as ourselves to really bring that roadmap and vision to bear.
So you're saying that they lack not talent, because they have it, of course, but they just lack the ambition, or they, as a structure, they're working on an old scheme,
Yeah, I think that's right. It's certainly organisations we've worked with. They might be in the manufacturing world, for example, and manufacturing processes and timelines and the way things get budgeted. Often work on sort of 2-year horizons, and in the world of digital, everything changes in 2 years. So you have to move to new processes and new ways of working, such as agile methodologies, those kinds of things. So I think increasingly our job is not only about coming into organizations and helping them define a strategy, but also helping them reorganizing themselves internally and find new processes and create new teams that can work in different ways and get things done.
Where I see that there's a need for you in automotive industry, because now there's the idea that you should rent, not buy. There are subscription services coming up and everyone except Tesla, they don't give a damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think again, you're seeing a lot of innovation in the auto space. Tesla has certainly given everyone a kick. But you see, Ford have created Ford Labs, and they're investing in new technologies that are, not just electric vehicles, but actually new subscription services, new apps, and new digital services that surround their core business. We work with Harley Davidson, a motorcycle company internationally. And the work we're doing with them is actually around building a companion app, which is a way of doing ride planning that's not just about the quickest route to A to B, which Google or Waze and others do, but actually finding the best route from A to B for motorcycling and connecting you to the community of riders. And that's, I think, the next frontier of digital experience. It's not just about providing a great customer experience, but actually doing it in a way that's very unique to that particular brand. And that's the area that we're pushing at the moment.
And what does Tesla do right, and what others don't?
Yeah, I think Tesla does many things right, but not everything right. I think one of the things that they've really thought about for themselves is how can you create a car company that's also a software company. And it's not just about the physical vehicle itself, but actually the software that runs it. A lot of people talk about its ability to provide updates and push those updates into the vehicles. I think that's a really interesting space and completely novel in the industry. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that about that kind of coming together and merging of software and hardware in the 2020s.
Thank you, Rob. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Enjoy your stay in Bucharest. I hope you liked it, yeah?
Yeah, it's fantastic here.
Thank you. Încă un live scurt cu Rob Collins, care a venit tocmai din New York la București, și rămâneți alături de noi că își mai vin interviuri interesante.